Rangers is directed by Dean Israelite, I think is how you say his name. And it stars Dacre Montgomery, Naomi Scott, R.J. Seiler, Ludi Lin, and Becky G, as well as Bryan Cranston, Elizabeth Banks, and Bill Hader. Wow, this movie's cast is weird, to say the least. So, Power Rangers tells the story of the Power Rangers. It is a reboot of the 1993 Mighty Morphin Power Rangers TV series, which ran for like 3-4 seasons, I think, as well as a movie. And then it spawned into the whole Power Rangers franchise we have now, which has been getting worse with age. But luckily, this movie does not get affected at all by the crappy Power Rangers TV shows. This movie is incredible. I think this might be my favorite movie of the year so far, because this movie, it delivered a very fun action movie. It had some moments of heart, of genuine heart, and the characters were all really good. The acting was incredible. I think the standouts for me were R.J. Seiler as Billy, the Blue Ranger. He was my favorite in the movie. He was cool. And honestly, Dacre Montgomery was pretty good too. All the actors were really good in this movie, which is surprising because out of all the trailers, the one thing that I was thinking was not going to be good was the acting, and all of the actors did a really good job. You have, of course, Dacre Montgomery. I don't know if he's been in anything else, maybe something smaller scale, but I've never heard of him before this movie, and he was really good. Naomi Scott, again, I've never heard of her in anything, and she was pretty good. The whole cast, the main 5 Power Rangers, I've never heard of them in anything, and they were really good. And then you have the supporting characters. You have Bryan Cranston as Zordon. There's this one scene near the very beginning where you see a little bit of Zordon's backstory, and it's cool. You see, like, in Zordon, he's got more character than he did in the original show. Because in the original show, all he was just a talking face in a tube talking to the Power Rangers. You didn't know much about him. He didn't really have real emotional, genuine moments. He was just a talking face in a tube. In this movie, he has some genuine moments where he is more than just a face in a wall. And then you have Elizabeth Banks as Rita Repulsa, the weirdest casting in the movie. And I thought she was one of the best parts of the movie, because she knows what this movie is. She knows that this movie is a cheesy, weird popcorn flick. And she looks like she is enjoying herself every minute of this movie that she is on screen. And then you have Bill Hader as Alpha 5. That one I was not expecting, but at the same time, one of the best castings in this movie, because Bill Hader as Alpha 5 almost stole quite a few parts of the movie. He was funny, he was cool, he was kind of creepy at times, like when they're first introduced to him. I really liked Bill Hader as Alpha 5. I think every character in this movie was perfectly cast, and the action was my favorite part of this movie was the action. Like, right away we start out with the aftermath of a battle, and there's some pretty cool stuff going on there. The visual effects were really good as well. I thought the visual effects were great. But the ending battle between the Power Rangers and Rita Repulsa and Goldar, it went about how I thought it was going to go, and it was pretty funny. I will say the only big problem I have with this movie is the amount of product placement for Krispy Kreme, but at the same time, I think it's hilarious because they almost do it in a way of parody. Like, obviously they're throwing this product placement in there, but they did it in a different way that makes it feel less like them selling out, being like, hey, you like the Power Rangers? Well, you should buy these donuts. We're gonna hold on them for a second so you can see. Instead, they add some really funny stuff to it, like the fact that there's a whole scene where a certain character, it's like right in the middle of an action sequence, there's just this scene where one character, just the whole thing stops just so this character can eat a donut inside the Krispy Kreme. And it made me laugh. It didn't make me think, ugh, that's such horrible product placement. I was like, that's funny. Yeah, I liked this movie a lot. I thought the performances were incredible. I thought the action was great. The visual effects were incredible. You know, it was a bit of a slow burner of a movie, but it starts out strong. The middle is very strong, and the ending is the strongest part. And the soundtrack for this movie was pretty good. The only problem I had with the soundtrack is the same problem I had with a movie I watched recently with Autumn, that certain just trendy pop songs just kind of start playing out of nowhere, and it's a bit jarring from it going to like no music or like actual like the actual score for the movie into trendy pop song. But I like the music choices in here. There's some pretty weird ones, like right from the get-go. There's a scene where the Red Ranger, he gets into his truck and he turns on his truck, and then We Don't Believe What's on TV by 21 Pilots is playing, and it's like, okay, that I was not expecting that. And of course they have Power by Kanye West playing in there at one point. And it actually worked in the movie. It didn't really work for me as well in the trailer. It worked for me fine in the movie. And they have like an update of the Power Rangers theme, and even though I didn't like it as much as the Power Rangers theme, when it starts playing during the scene that it plays in, I could not help but just feel like this swell of, yes, that's the Power Rangers. Those are the Power Rangers. And it felt completely deserved for me. I was like, they are the Power Rangers, and I totally believe that they are the Power Rangers, and they earned it. So yeah, that's really all I have to say about the movie. I think I may have talked a little too much into stuff I didn't want to. I think I may have gone into a little too much spoilery stuff in here, but it doesn't matter. The movie came out 2 days ago, and I'm getting this review out on a Sunday. So if anyone even watches this, I'll be amazed. But yeah, I'm gonna give Power Rangers an A. This is my favorite movie of the year so far. It is the movie that I had little expectations for, and then but I still had hype because I love Power Rangers and I wanted the movie to be good, but I knew in the back of my mind it's probably not going to be good. And then the reviews started coming in, and there was a lot of positive stuff being said, and I was getting a little more hyped. Then I saw it, and I was like, so yeah, it's Morphin Time. Yeah, I loved Power Rangers. I think it's not the best movie that's come out this year, but it is definitely up there. Every movie I've seen this year in theaters has been good so far, so I thank you guys for watching this video. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.